It's Friday, November 30. Good afternoon. I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. The mother of 15-year-old St. Hugh's High student Tashai Munda has succumbed to her injuries after receiving severe burns during an arson attack at her home on Sunday. Shauna K. Bowen died last night. Her daughter Tashai died from her injuries Wednesday night. As news spread of the second death, the community of Salisbury Plain, which is about 6 miles north of Stony Hill in St. Andrew, was plunged into further mourning. It's understood that the police have launched a hunt for 2 suspects, including the husband of the deceased woman. Road fatalities for the year continues to rise as a 67-year-old man died in a motor vehicle crash in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth on Thursday. He has been identified as George Peart of a Manchester address. Another man received minor injuries in the crash. The incident occurred about 1:50 in the afternoon. Reports are that Mr. Peart was driving a Toyota Corolla motor car from Manchester towards Santa Cruz. On reaching the intersection of Main Street and Pagan Drive, he attempted to make a right turn but collided with a Honda motor car traveling in the opposite direction. Mr. Peart, who had to be removed from the damaged vehicle by firefighters, was transported to the hospital by the police. He died while undergoing treatment. His passenger was treated at a medical doctor's office. The driver of the Honda was not injured. With the increasing impact of climate change, environmental experts are concerned that the government is not taking advantage of various conventions to which Jamaica is a signatory. The issue came up at Wednesday's staging of the Caribbean Policy Research Institute Capri Forum on the Environment at the University of the West Indies, UWI. Principal of the UWI, Professor Dale Weber, believes the government signed the conditions without thought of using them to help in framing legislation. He's urging Jamaicans to hold the government accountable on critical environmental issues.
We should hold our governments responsible. And I'm not sure we've been able to do that consistently. Governments go where people take them. And I think we, as a people, have not done enough, have not said enough to take the governments to where we want them to go.
Professor Weber also had this suggestion.
As we look at what we do in terms of framework, I would like to see more environmental economics and environmental law. Right, Daniel? Because those are features that I think reach those who are certainly the developers. As someone who has done EIAs and taught students how to do EIAs, done SEAs, you provide the information and you worry. Because my professor used to tell me we're a strange country. We see the obvious, realize it to be the evident, and often do the opposite.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Susan Stanley, has raised questions on the tight grip of information in relation to the environment.
The lack of information is a major hurdle for citizens, for groups like JET. I'm sure it was probably a hurdle for Capri in trying to put together this study itself. And it's as if information is being held by the government close to the chest, as if it is something that should never be released and never be shared.
A stern warning this afternoon from local government Minister Desmond McKenzie to commercial entities regarding the disposal of their garbage. Speaking at the official opening of the Falmouth Market yesterday, Mr. McKenzie reiterated that the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is not responsible for the disposal of commercial waste. He says the onus is on the business establishment to have their garbage taken away, hence this warning.
Anybody that is found depositing commercial garbage is going to feel the full brunt of the law.
In the meantime, Minister McKenzie says come next week, persons will be able to lease their trucks to the government to carry out garbage collection operations through a tender process.
Tuesday of next week, the tender process will be made public for persons who want to lease these trucks to the government of Jamaica. It is going to be an open tender. And I want to encourage persons who feel that they have the ability, they can apply.
100 trucks are being sought to be leased during the 2019-2020 financial year. Member of Parliament for Northern Clarendon, Horace Daly, is appealing to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation to address the matter of a cut-off time for events during the Christmas season. Mr. Daly said a set time should be implemented for all events during the festive season. He was speaking at a town hall meeting in Clarendon recently.
You can't have one opening hours for some people, some parties, and a different opening hours for other people, for other parties. If it is 1 o'clock, it is 1 o'clock for everybody, whether you are rich or you are poor, whether you're a big promoter or you're a small promoter. If it is 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., it is 2 a.m. for everybody. It can't be that some people are locked off at 12 o'clock and other people are allowed to run all night their parties.
In the meantime, Mr. Daly also raised concerns about cleaning up activities for the Maypen market. He argues that the yearly cleanup activity in the market is usually done from his budget. However, he wants the municipal corporation to help with the financing in cleaning the market this year.
The council, the parish council, must can give the one little market we have up here a location to clean up the market. And I'm appealing to you, Mr. Mayor, make a little allocation, special allocation, to clean up the market and paint up the stalls and fix up the market in time for the Christmas holiday.
Earlier this year, the government announced modifications to the sexual harassment bill. However, 9 months after the announcement, the changes are yet to be seen. Now one group is speaking out about the delay.
The Me Too movement shined light on the issue of sexual harassment earlier this year. In light of a renewed attention globally, Jamaicans questioned if local legislation would keep pace with the rest of the world. According to the Bureau of Gender Affairs, the sexual harassment bill has been modified to reflect current realities as the cabinet has laid down guidelines on the rules of sexually implicit engagements, both at the workplace and in the home. But after months of waiting for its implementation, nothing.
We move very slow in terms of legislation. We move too slow in terms of legislation that's there to protect. And not only women nowadays, it's not only to protect women, it's to protect everyone. When the men are the predominant decision makers, do you think that they're going to put something like sexual harassment, which, let's face it, is still most favorable for women because heretofore women have been the victims? Do you think men are going to put that as the front burner, if you will, when there's other maybe more pressing things that they consider to be more pressing?
Speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Thursday, Executive Director of Women's Incorporated, Joyce Hewitt, said she has not received any report on the bill in months. She, however, gave an explanation on what she believes is causing the delay.
There's been other priorities this year, and certainly, you know, even for us, there's been other priorities. So that we're still expecting it to occur, especially now that it's been brought forward for the at least 4th or 5th time in a lot of years. We're fairly confident this year, though, that we're going to get it done because other things are also happening.
Despite the delay, Ms. Hewitt insists that the sexual harassment bill is still a priority for Women, Inc.
We're pushing hard. This is right now. We're in the 16 days of activism, and that's a part of what we're pushing for. Anywhere you listen to us, anywhere you go to our social media, for example, and see that we're talking about rights and we're talking about legislation. And sexual harassment is a key one because too many persons are being hurt by it, and we've been too silent too long.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Principal of the Lennon High School in Clarendon, Frederick Lottery, is appealing for assistance in acquiring additional land to help students at his institution. Mr. Lottery said with additional land, the school will be able to build boarding facilities for students, particularly those who lack family support. He believes this type of change of environment can help to create more positive youths in Jamaica. He was speaking at an awards ceremony hosted by past students of the school.
We have some children whose parents are absent. And I think in order for us to really grow, we have to step in a little more. And I would love to also have a boarding facility at Lennon High School. We need to pull our students from the environment in which they are now and to create something that we can make these children the possibility and the future of Jamaica.
Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips is this afternoon chastising the government for not coming up with a reasonable wage package for rank-and-file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. Wage negotiations between the JCF and the government have been ongoing since August 2017, but despite numerous offers by the government, they have been rejected by the Police Federation as they say the figure would not meet the requirements of the men and women of the force. Dr. Peter Phillips spoke on the issue at a recent People's National Party PNP meeting in St. Mary.
Have been forced to make their voices heard because over going now almost 2 years, they have been without a new wage and benefits agreement, despite being called upon to work longer hours and despite of being victimized.
The opposition leader also weighed in on the protest action by taxi operators last week.
Taxi drivers for 3 days had to protest just to get the attention of the government, who finally recognized that they should talk to them about the laws that they were amending.
In international news, we go to the United States as California is once again at the mercy of Mother Nature. Earlier this year, parts of the Golden State were ravaged by major wildfires. Now heavy rains are causing havoc. The details from the CNN.
Firefighters, along with help from the Highway Patrol and a helicopter, rescue a man clinging to a tree in the Los Angeles River Thursday. Weather throwing another challenge at California residents.
My concern is the runoff on the road and keeping the ditches open, because that's what's going to wash out.
Flash floods are gushing through areas recently scorched by significant wildfires.
I've been cleaning everything, and it's still the smoke smell is everywhere.
Authorities say after a wildfire, heavy rains can cause rapid landslides in burned areas. That's why they've issued mandatory evacuation orders in some spots.
We understand the public is frustrated. We understand people want to get back into those areas. Those who have homes, we realize they want to go to their homes. Those who do not have homes, we know that you want to get back in there and search for mementos and things of value.
CAL FIRE of Riverside County is blunt on its website, telling people if you stay, you are risking your life. Some residents took the advice and fled. Others have not.
Did my 100-foot defensible, but kind of like what's come to me is that 100-foot defensible is great, but you got to kind of defend it. If no one's around to defend it, it can be a problem.
We go on to news and sports. The Reggae Girls will face one of France, Germany, England or Australia in the group stages of the FIFA Women's World Cup next year. The United States and Canada are also in pot 1, but Jamaica will not face them in the group stages because they play in the same confederation. Jamaica was placed in pot 4 alongside Argentina, Chile, South Africa, Nigeria and another African qualifier. Pot 3 comprises South Korea, China, Italy, Scotland, Thailand and New Zealand or Fiji. Pot 2 includes Japan, Brazil, the Netherlands, Sweden, Spain and Norway. The seedings were done based on the FIFA rankings from September 2018. The official draw for the tournament will be done on December 8. And that wraps up the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Please join us at 7 for the primetime news package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.